So, the Tennis Museum, or as it still says on the giant tennis ball here, Wimbledon. How big is this site? It is huge. It is massive compared to every other settlement. You've got to go a long way up to get a screenshot that encompasses the entire size of this one location. Now, if we compare that, whoops, to everything else, and what I did was raise a block up to a certain height so I could get a screenshot of the whole site. So I took a screenshot from this height at every settlement, and this is what happened.
As you can see, Covent Garden, Vauxhall Construction, London Bridge, Biggin Hill, Lambeth, they all fit, even ignoring the overlaps because you could squeeze them into empty space. You can fit every other settlement inside the Tennis Museum. It is vast.
So yeah, Wimbledon. It is huge. From this sign, there's a building below, a structure you can use, but there's an issue with the floor. It's lava. Things just sink into it. I've added a floor by poking a wall through the doorway and building off it. So it is a usable space, but you'd need to do some work because that floor does not like anything. Whoops. Now, I'd been playing around with stuff here for a long time before I even realised that this building was within the workshop area, and with a little bit of access you can gain the use of this room, which is just huge. If I had the codes for it, I'd stick an indoor bowling alley in here maybe. But yeah, the site itself, the workshop is in the base of this main stadium. It's a massive room on the ground floor with a first floor level, again equally large, and you could have fitted the entire Thames Haven community inside that one building. Now here we see it's frozen on at the moment, but it was an experiment. I was trying to create the Pong game, having a couple of paddles going up and down, left and right, and a dot bouncing between, you know, that old Binatone tennis game. Unfortunately, it's far too complicated to do, and the mechanics of the game doesn't allow individual addressing on the same power grid. So it was a failed experiment. But the boundary goes all the way over to these far courts. It's just crazy big. So here we have fields of crops, various varieties. Got an apple orchard, some corpse cabbage, potatoes and then blueberries, carrots. Got a pear orchard. Rather sparse looking area, but that's got the, what have I got in there? Melons and gourds. There is one emission in update 102, one thing you can't grow, which I thought you could. I'll talk about that later. And I have a field of corn, blueberries, and over here we have a cattle field. Now the cattle, occasionally are herded past the archery practice area. Arrows disappear after a while, which is strange. And the cattle can be herded in through the cleansing sterilisation area. Observed here for any difficulties, blemishes, anything wrong. Let's make sure they're looking healthy. May listen to a bit of calming classical music and look at some country scenes. Have something to eat before being stunned by the well, what should we call it? Humane dispatch machine. Are loaded onto the conveyor and then go through the meat processing area. At the moment I'm using free cam with the freeze on, so nothing's moving, but these blades spin, chop and chomp, and it's a rather gory area. So this is where all the big horners, Brahmin and whatever else gets fed through the processing plant. Bones are boiled down and the various meats are loaded into the machinery here for our big horner corned beef production plant. I really haven't done anything with the upstairs floor in this building. There's just so much space here. I mean, what do I need to do? I'll throw a load of beds up there for the sake of it. Anyway, corned beef processing plant. All pallets and boxes are loaded into the little minivan, simply called Farm Big Horner Corned Beef, to be distributed around the Greater London area. We've got a mutt fruit field here. I built a barn just for the sake of building a barn. I haven't done anything with that yet. And there's the outer perimeter, just on the outskirts of which there is a pre-existing trading post, and these hills are full of strawberries, so there's plenty of crops to gather just to start yourself off. One of the courts has this damaged area which is flooded, so provides a good water source. But the main building itself is unusable, you can't get in there. But there is this kind of outer area which I've utilised just with some glazed walls and a roof to create my little hothouse area. Oh, I so wanted to get the hash plants, I still haven't found the code for those. You're not quite sitting on that chair, are you? Well, this is just a space to come, chill out, have a smoke, listen to some music. And this is next door to the clinic, where any sick and ailing people can come for treatment. And be seen by the doctor. Next to that, there's an accommodation block. I've not done much in the way of decorating in there, but there's lots of little rooms with beds. And at night they like to come around and pump iron and play on the pommel horse. And a fairly sizable plot there just for a group sleeping area. In front of the maid stadium is the aforementioned strawberries were used, so we've got a strawberry field. Baths, toilet and laundry rooms. Got a couple of these just so you can come in and clean up, do your laundry. The traders all hang around this area, come in and do their deliveries. And this main entrance is like a ready-made marketplace. It really is all pre-existing stuff there. And you can see here, it's now the New Balls Market. Just outside of which are a few trading visitor sort of Bedouin tents for their overnight stays. In the market, the four-hand firearms. Next door to our trade stand. First service store. And then our food and drink producer here at the Court Cafe. Now the previous mentioned crop that you can't grow, pumpkins. We're here at the Tennis Museum, and just here at the derelict farm they have pumpkin patches. And so I grabbed a load of pumpkins thinking, oh, I can take them back and plant them. But no, they are not in the food production build menu. This is a shame. I wanted a pumpkin patch. Anyway. So, matey here at the Court Cafe. He will prepare your food. And of course everything is freshly produced from our own Brahman and Longhorn stock, Bighorn stock. If you need clothing, and we've got the tennis tailors. So anything you need to try on, well, you just come into the little private changing booth. And if your armour needs ace armour. So yeah, there you have it. The biggest sprawling settlement in the whole of Fallout London. Now, some settlements have size limits. You have the build limit. And there is a console command called getav349 and getav34b, which shows you, if you're pointing at the workbench in a settlement, the kind of, I don't know, is it the kind of triangles and the build limits that you have for that settlement. For example, London Bridge, I think is, the get out of 349 is 90 million, and the 34B is 3,500. I came here to see what kind of size you had, because it's such a big place, and you get those figures from the workbench here and it just says greater than 1. There appears to be no limit, so I haven't extended or cheated to expand what I could do here size wise. If I just pop back into my body for a second and go into build mode, you can see the size bar is little over halfway. Little over halfway for everything that I've put here. It's stupidly huge. Anyway, have fun with that. I hope you found this interesting. Till next time, goodbye.